It's the LPGA Tour on the Golf Channel. From Rogers, Arkansas, it's live final round coverage of the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship. So far, we've dodged the weather in Northwest Arkansas. The final round is underway. They moved the tee times all the way up to 7 a.m. this morning. They're playing threesomes, going off split tees, hoping to get the final round completed before the rain comes, which is forecast for later today. So far, so good. Right now it's 67 degrees. The forecast is for light to heavy rain, with the heavy stuff coming later in the afternoon, hopefully well after we are completed here at the Pinnacle Country Club. With Beth Daniel alongside us, check out some highlights from earlier today. Jane Park trying to get off to a good start. This for birdie at 1.
Yeah, left herself below the hole. Rolls that right in.
That got her to 6 under par. Angela Stanford bogeyed the first, but came back strong. This was her third to the par 5 second.
Yeah, from 136 yards. Very treacherous hole location today, surrounded by water, but doesn't matter when you hit them like that.
The eagle got her to 8 under par. And Jane Park continued to climb the leaderboard. This for birdie on 3.
Yeah, 358-yard par 3. Hit another great shot in there and another good putt.
G.A. Shin trying to make a Sunday charge. This her third to 14. The par 5.
Obviously going for it. 2 coming up just short in the bunker, but not a bad place to miss it with the hole location today, and beautifully played.
She would make that birdie. She got to 7 under par. And then just moments ago, our leader, Song Hee Kim, had this for par at the 8th.
Drove it in the right trees, came up short of the green, hit a beautiful pitch to here, but missed the putt and would make bogey.
And the bogey drops her to 8 under par as we bring you up to date with our Titleist leaderboard. The #1 ball in golf. Song Hee Kim, despite the bogey, still with a 1-shot lead over Angela Stanford, Shi Yoon An, G.A. Shin, and Sun Young Yu. Taylor Leon with a good day going. She's at 6 under par. Pat Hurst in that group at 5 under, along with Helen Alfredson. I'm Brian Hammonds along with Beth Daniel. Val Skinner and Donna Capone Burns will be following the action on course. Our hole announcers today, Charlie Reimer and Tom Abbott. Angela Stanford also bogeyed the 8th hole, so she stays 1 shot back on the tee now at 9.
Has to take it down the right-hand side. 236, there's a bunker in play.
Yeah, they added that bunker on the left side of this fairway, and Angela has driven that through just into the rough.
Ahead to 11 and Tom Abbott.
And Pat Hurst is on the tee at this par 3.
And 135 yards, Tom. Hole location on the left, tough hole location. This is an 8-iron.
Well, not for Pat Hurst today, Donna. Great tee shot. She'll have a chance for a birdie. Very good chance for a birdie. And back to the 9th.
Let's see how Song Hee Kim responds to that bogey at the 8th.
Well, needs to take it on that same line down the right-hand side. She's got it started in the right direction.
And hello, everyone. I'm Brian Hammonds along with Beth Daniel. I know, Beth, a lot of players are really surprised that Song Hee Kim hasn't won yet out here on the LPGA Tour.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, she came to the LPGA Tour by finishing first on the money list of the Duramed Futures Tour. She won 5 times that year, tying Grace Park's record. She won 4 tournaments. Well, she actually won the 4th on her 18th birthday. So, you know, very talented young player, but she has not been able to quite transition that to the LPGA Tour, and a lot of players out here just don't understand that. She hits the ball very well. She's #1 in putts per green in regulation on the tour. So, so far it has not translated into a win, but it probably eventually will.
Well, it's well known that Angela Stanford's mother has been battling breast cancer, and she's trying to do something today that would mean an awful lot to her.
Well, Angela has never won a tournament with her parents present at the event, and her mother is here this week. Her mom watches her tee off on the first tee, then goes into the clubhouse and watches the event on TV. Angela is extremely close to her mother. the breast cancer diagnosis has been very, very hard on Angela, as it is on her mom, but her mom's doing reacting very well to the treatment and the chemotherapy that she's been going through. I saw her this morning. She looks really good, and I know Angela would really, really want to win this event for her mother.
And Angela Stanford right now just a shot off the lead, and this one could go all the way down to the wire. A lot of players still in contention here in Rogers, Arkansas. As we go back out to the action to the 13th.
Now this will be the second for Christy Kerr to this difficult par 4. Hole location today towards the back left.
Charlie, she's driven it a little bit down the right side of the fairway here. You can get blocked out, but it looks like she's okay. She's driven it far enough where she'll be all right.
Now there's a good look at the hole.
Yeah, it really necks in there if you go a certain distance.
Now the green sits up really high, and if you can get something going just a little right of the hole, it'll actually funnel towards it.
Well, and you heard her saying cut, cut, so she did. She was blocked a little bit by that tree on the corner, did not bring it in from left to right enough, and will be in that bunker.
Yeah, let's go back to the 9th.
Song Hee Kim first to play.
A little bit up the hill, only 8 paces on this hole location, stuck right behind a front hand bunker.
Oh, and that's well done. She'll have a downhill putt, but you really can't get too fancy with that. You don't want to leave it short.
And now Angela Stanford.
And Brian, she's driven it a little bit through the fairway here, as Beth mentioned earlier. Just 88 yards to the hole location, but has to deal with a little bit of an overhanging tree, and also that front right-hand bunker that absolutely has her attention. A little bit downwind and a little bit uphill. She's going to go with a gentle wedge. And just came out of there really bad. Not a great lie. It wasn't that bad, though.
Well, the rough here is very spotty, so you can get, you can get some kind of funny
I
lies.
wonder what that lie's going to be like in the bunker, the way that ball went in as we go to the 11th.
And Pat Hurst has a birdie putt, trying to bounce back. She got it to 8 under after 7, but is now back to 5 under.
Yeah, 4 birdies and 4 bogeys. Bogeyed 3 in a row. This is an important birdie putt to get going on this back 9.
So Pat back to 6 under, and repairing a little bit of the damage, but she's got to be very disappointed. She was within 1 of the lead after 7 holes, Beth.
Yeah, Pat really has, after winning earlier this year, has struggled a little bit as of late, so it's good to see her back there shooting some low numbers.
Let's go to 13.
Yeah, Michelle Wee, her second. Michelle on the scorecard today has a couple of bogeys and just 1 birdie, 1 over for the round. Now that's way to the right, and Val, that is going to leave a, that's going to leave a really difficult pitch from there.
Very difficult. You can see where that section of that green, there's a spine that runs off of that. It'll be a tough up and down, but also on the right side of the fairway there was Michelle, and you have to hit that from left to right. She just really overcooked it.
Now let's go back to the 9th.
Nayeon Choi will be first to play. She is even on the day, coming off a bogey herself at the 8th. So everybody in this group made bogey at the 8th. This will be her 3rd.
Pretty clean lie. Plenty of green, really, given that she has a flat lie. She drove it left and had a side hill shot in here and just couldn't convert any loft. So she ended up in this bunker. Little shut face there, Beth.
Yeah, she didn't catch that very cleanly.
Val, how's Angela's lie in that bunker?
You know, it's not bad at all. It's just right in front of where Choi was, and she's got a little bit of a uphill bank to cover there in the front, but As long as you maintain the loft on that face coming through, you should be able to put some spin on this.
What's the key with wet sand?
Just be cautious of it, but you still got to play the same kind of shot. It's going to run a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah, with the type of rain that we've had today, that's a beautiful shot. The type of rain we've had today, the surface of the sand gets a little bit firmer from the moisture, but underneath is still soft. So you basically treat it the same way.
So Angela will save her par with that tap in that's left as we go to 16.
Paula Creamer, her second to the par 4. Of course, it's Sunday, and Paula's always got the pink ball working on Sunday. She's going to have her work cut out from her trying to save par from that position. Now G.A. Shin, who is really having a great round today. She's got to 7 under par.
5 under on the day for GA.
No bogeys on the scorecard. That's impressive on a day like this.
She is such a good player. Leads in the Rookie of the Year and 4th in Player of the Year points. Just having an outstanding rookie season on the LPGA Tour.
Back to 9.
Song Hee Kim will have a decent look at birdie here to regain a 2-shot lead.
Yeah, and she, you know, as I mentioned earlier, leads the tour in putts per green in regulation. I really like Val, how she sets up over the putter. She gets her eyes over the ball. Her arms hang very nicely. She looks really comfortable, and I think that's important if you're going to be a good putter.
Her overall game looks that way to me, Beth. She's relaxed, doesn't get in a hurry, has wonderful rhythm in both her long game and short game.
After shooting an opening round 65, she talked about how tired she is. This is her 4th consecutive event. She never plays that many in a row, and it's going to stretch to 5 next week.
Well, if anything can wake you up, this will do it.
This is for birdie.
See her aiming just a little out to the right. She pushed that a little bit. Not a good putt. She said yesterday she struggled on the front 9, got it up and down, and then all of a sudden about the 11th hole, things started to kick in, and that's when she played her best golf yesterday and took the lead.
It's amazing what adrenaline can do.
Yeah.
So a par for Song Hee Kim. She stays at 8 under. To 13.
And Michelle Wee with her 3rd. This is going to be extremely interesting and difficult.
Taking it up really high. She landed it too soft or too short of that spine, and you can see it running down. She'll leave herself a pretty good effort for par, but certainly not what she was looking for.
To the tee at 11.
And this is MJ Her with her tee shot. Start of the day at 5 under, now back to 4 under. Did get it to 8 under after 5.
Yeah, in the bunker there.
And you can see that ball in tight there, just a tap in birdie. And that came from this lady, Jane Park. Using the slope to her advantage.
It certainly is.
It's cut on the middle tier today, Beth.
Yeah, right over that bunker. This is probably one of the most severely sloped greens on the golf course, the 11th.
Let's go back to 9.
And Angela Stanford just to finish off her par after that terrific bunker shot.
It's one of the parts of Angela's game that she has improved so much as her bunker player, short game. She has a variety of shots, but she is a very good bunker player, and showed us why on that shot.
Paying a lot of attention to this short little putt.
Well, it's a little bit tricky just around the hole. She's watched both putts that preceded her take a little bit of a dive to the right when it reached the hole location if it didn't have enough speed. Yes, Beth, you know, to follow up on the stats, she's actually ranked top 5 in many important categories. Does she play well?
All right.
Just the right amount of wiggle to the right.
So a par for Angela. She stays at 7 under, 1 behind Song Hee Kim. Down to Val.
So Angela, a little eclectic on the front 9, 1 back. What do you need to do on the back? That was a great save there.
Well, I just need to get back to hitting golf shots. You know, this is where I wanted to be, close going into the back 9. Give myself a chance.
Well, good luck. Go get him.
That was at the turn, something we like to do on the LPGA Tour on the weekend. Hear from one of the leaders as they make the turn. Angela Stanford will make the turn, 1 behind Song Hee Kim. Shi Yunan, Jie Shin also 1 back. We'll be back with more final round action from the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship. The Golf Channel's presentation of the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship brought to you by P&G Beauty, proud sponsor of the LPGA, touching lives, improving life. By Outback Steakhouse, try our new menu with 15 meals under $15. Outback, live adventurous. And by TaylorMade R9, adjust the head, adjust the weights, totally optimize you.
And welcome back. We're on the tee at the 10th. Angela Stanford.
Well, plenty of room to land this ball. I want to keep it out of the rough here because I want to have a good shot at the hole location. Went with driver.
Boy, great rhythm there. Up the right-hand side. That looked to catch the fairway, Val. Now Song Hee Kim.
Same thing, just wants to follow suit. Song Hee's played very consistent through the week in terms of scoring.
Now look at the back 9 scoring this week. Song Hee Kim 7 under on the back 9. Angela Stanford 3 under.
She's lost that way right.
Val just looked a little lazy through impact.
Yeah. You know, that's what happens in the rain. You're trying to pay attention to staying dry and lose sight of what you're doing.
At the 16th, Jie Shin is for birdie. And to tie the lead, will it reach? Oh, yes. What a fine round of golf Jie Shin is having today.
Well, and I tell you what, Charlie, if she could post a number on a day like today and get in before potentially the weather gets really bad, it would be a huge advantage.
She now has 6 birdies and no bogeys on the day. Back at 13, Michelle Wee, this for par. Shouldn't be a whole lot of movement here. Maybe just a little bit of a misread for Michelle. She started so well this week, birdieing the first 3 holes in the first round on Friday, and just wasn't able to maintain that pace. Now to the 11th.
Yeah, we saw the tee shot from Jane Park. Now there's the tap-in birdie to get within 1 of the lead at 7 under. 22-year-old from California.
Well, and Jane Park finished 2nd here last year in this event, so obviously likes this golf course a lot.
And we'll go ahead to the next hole, the 12th.
And Wendy Ward on the tee.
And Wendy, 164 yards, starting to rain a little bit harder right now. Players are lift cleaning and placing again. They did it the first round, played it down yesterday. Hole location on the far right side. This might take that ridge and run right down to the hole.
It looks like it's going to do it, Donna.
Oh, what a shot.
The problem is it going to stay? That is such a tough hole location on that 12th hole today.
Here's a look at the leaderboard. 3 players at 8 under par. Shi Yunan, Song Hee Kim, G.A. Shin. Stanford and Park, just one back. Let's take a look at our golf course setup, brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. Pinnacle Country Club, beautiful venue here in Rogers, Arkansas, playing just over 6,200 yards to a par 71. A lot of changes. $6.2 million worth of changes made to this course over the last year.
Yeah, one of the things they did was they put a different type of zoysia in the fairways, and they put a creeping bent grass on the greens, added quite a few new bunkers, and put in a lake on the lowest part of the golf course, so now the golf course is self-sustained for water.
Jane Park is very much in the picture here today. Shot 62 in the final round a year ago to equal the course record. Angela Park also with a 62 in round 2. Pat Hurst now with her second into 12.
129 front, 53 to the flag. She likes to work the ball left to right. Perfect hole location for her. Oh, no, she's double crossed that and pulled it.
Oh, she's going to sort of get away with it, although that will be a difficult putt. But Donna, you cannot miss this right today. If you miss it right, that area is shaved. It'll go all the way in the lake.
Over to 10.
Song Hee Kim will be first to play in this final pairing.
Well, she's got this right-hand bunker, but she has a clean lie. Still debating what she needs to do here. There's really no wind that's affecting this shot to speak of. Just going to take one more out of this bunker.
Well, I'll tell you what she doesn't need to do is go long here. That is death if you get over the back of this green today.
Yeah, there's a lot of roll-offs that have been added to around these greens, which really make the golf course much more interesting. She does have to clear the bunker that fronts the green, but the hole location's back enough that she should be able to do that with no problem.
Can she see the flagstick from down in this bunker?
Yeah, very easily. 119 yards. Gonna hit some kind of a sawed-off 8-iron. Sounded clean, but it looks like it's going a little left.
Ooh, she was flirting with disaster there and going long, but that'll be fine.
It looks like nothing really phases her at all as we move up to the 11th.
And Sun Young Yu with her tee shot.
That should be good, yeah.
She's been battling a foot injury, and in fact tomorrow she's heading up to Michigan to see a orthopedic doctor about it. Bruce Lawrence will be the doctor she will go and see tomorrow, but she's got a lot of pain in her foot at the moment. So not doing too badly. It's 6 under, just 2 back of the lead. Beware of the injured golfer. It's An, Kim and Shin leading the way at 8 under, and we will go back to the 10th.
Now Angela Stanford playing from the right-hand side of this fairway.
Welling really has a perfect angle, just opens up the hole. She doesn't have to worry about the bunker on the right. 115, depends on 24 paces, so plenty of room. Just a gentle breeze from the left. Chance to step on the gas here. This is going to be a wedge.
Oh, nicely done.
Dead on flag high. Final round of the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship. 3 players tied at 8 under par.
Song Hee Kim, G.A. Shin tied at the top. Shi Yunan is in that group at 7 under. 1 back. Pat Hurst. Just 2 shots back as we go to 16.
Jie Shin on the tee. This is a critical tee shot. Ideally, you want to place this ball on the left-hand side of the fairway.
Oh, Charlie, she's done that beautifully.
Correct myself. That's actually the par 3 17th, and it's a very nice play. At the 10th, Song-hee Kim, this for birdie.
Not much to it, just maybe a little bit of break to the right at the end.
Maybe just a little bit too much speed there. Let's move to the 12th.
And this a moment ago, Pat Hurst with that roller coaster putt for birdie.
Well, there's a spine that goes across the screen, right? She's on top of it there. Now it starts rolling downhill. I mean, it just picks up so much speed. Very difficult to get that close to the hole, and actually Pat did a pretty good job with that putt.
Back to 10.
Now Angela Stanford, this for birdie. Certainly in that makeable distance, Beth.
Yeah, big putt. Big putt for Angela here for momentum. Did she hit it? No.
Oh.
Wow.
So Angela Stanford will remain at 7 under par, 1 off the lead. And that's a lost opportunity there, and you can tell by her expression she's not very pleased with that putt. Shi Yun An at the 13th. This for birdie and a share of the lead. Not a lot of movement. Good line.
Ooh, nice putt. Shi Yun An won as a non-member to gain her card for the LPGA Tour.
Back at 15. Excuse me, the 12th.
At the 12th, Pat Hurst for par.
Well, and where she put her approach shot on that 12th green, it made it very, very difficult for her to 2-putt.
So the bogey for Hurst. She falls back to 5 under. Out in the fairway, Jane Park with her second.
Well, she didn't even mess with that area of the green. See the lake to the right of that hole location. That is all shaved. That whole hill is shaved. So if you miss it right, it will go in that water.
At the 18th, Sandra Gao for birdie. She held the overnight lead after round 1. Struggled yesterday with that 76, comes back today with a 1 under par 70 to finish at 3 under. Back to 10.
Song-hee Kim, this to save par. And I'm going to tell you what, Beth, the way this young lady rolls her golf ball, it's almost a waste of time to ask her to putt it.
Well, I'm sure the rest of the field would want to see this.
I'm sure they would. Dead center, no surprise there. 2 major statistical putting categories. She is 1st and 6th. She's also 1st here. We'll be back right after this.
A light rain has fallen for the last couple of hours here in northwest Arkansas, but we can play through this, and that's what they're attempting to do before the heavy stuff that is forecast comes through later today as we go to 11.
And Andrew Stanford's tee shot. Val is there.
Just 135, but a tough hole location on the left-hand side, an overhanging tree. That's a poorly hit 8-iron.
There are worse places to be on this hole, but it's going to be a pretty tough putt, Val. Song Hee Kim.
Also going with the same club. It's right at it. Oh, it's not enough. This group needs to just drink a little Red Bull.
We'll go to the 7th and Jie Shin for birdie and the lead.
Tom, this breaks so much from left to right. And she did not play enough break. It's amazing how much that breaks.
Jie Shin, who started the day at 2 under, currently 6 under for the day, and this is Michelle Wie at the 14th for an eagle to get to 3 under, back to where she started. So just a birdie for Michelle Wie, and she will be, well, at the moment, not heading to the Samsung World Championships. She's the first reserve next week, and then after that, it's off to Stanford. So Michelle getting ready for school once again. This is Paula Creamer at the 17th.
Let's see if she learned anything from GA's putt as to how much it breaks. I think today's hole location the most difficult on this 17th. Well, she overcompensated. Now she'll have a difficult downhiller for her par.
Let's go back to 12.
And Jane Park with a long one for birdie. If she can get it to go, she'll jump to 8 under par.
Wow, and what a difficult putt. This whole location sitting down in a little valley. She's nicely judged that.
Jane had it to 9 under, but then bogeyed 3 of her next 4. Fought back to get to 7 under. Back to 11.
We've seen Kim and Stanford, now nigh on Choi.
That also an 8 iron. Let's see if somebody can dial one in.
Oh, she dialed that one in, Val. Beautiful shot.
So it's the final day of the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship. Song Hee Kim and Jie Shin lead at 8 under.
Hi, I'm Sandra Gall. Welcome to the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship. Did you know this event and the nationwide tour's Fort Smith Classic are the only professional golf events ever held in the state of Arkansas?
Well, thank you, Sandra Gall. This is Angela Sanford for birdie at the 11th.
And not a great birdie attempt up over this hill. Now she's up on this level. She gave it a good run.
That was a moment ago. Now live with Song Hee Kim.
Well, she's going to go ahead and bump it in there with the wedge. Gas to control the speed there. A little bit easier with the grass being wet. Beth left it under the hole at least.
Yeah, not real happy with it, Val, but certainly could have done worse.
And over at the 17th, Jie Shin to save par and stay in a tie for the lead. So she is going to set a target in the clubhouse. Jie is all smiles at the moment.
Well, I mean, if she could take advantage of the 18th hole and make a birdie there and post 9 under, I think that would be huge.
Let's go to the 15th.
And Michelle Wie on the tee at the par 3.
It's downhill par 3, 142 yards today. Needs to spin. Michelle has just, I think just her putting hasn't been quite sharp this week, and that's been the difference with her.
Here's a look at where things stand. Kim and Shin tied at 8 under, and plenty of players knocking on the door, one back.
Song Hee Kim, the 11th hole.
And Tom, shouldn't be a whole lot to this putt. Just have to be careful. A lot of the players have talked about how these being newly renovated greens, that there's some subtle breaks. They haven't quite settled. Next year, I think they'll be much, much better, much truer. Well done.
So Song Hee Kim remains at 8 under. She is 1 over for the day. Tied for the lead. 21-year-old lives on Hilton Head Island, originally from Seoul, South Korea. We will remain at the 11th green and see if Andrea Stanford can clean this one up.
Well, and Beth, just to follow up on that comment, you know, these greens are stemping this morning at 11.6. And actually are in really good shape, holding up under a little wet condition. Done a nice job here, rolling, double cutting them.
So Nayeon Choi made her birdie, but Andrea Stanford just a par. She remains level for the day, 7 under for the championship and just 1 back of the lead. And we will go to the 15th green.
And Michelle Wee for birdie.
Yeah, putting down the hill to this hole today. And
she's almost conceded the race for Rookie of the Year to G.A. Shin, because she's going to go back to Stanford for the fall quarter in a couple of weeks. Isn't going to play the Asian events. She'll play all the domestic events remaining on the schedule. It'll be hard to catch G.A. Shin regardless of whether or not she plays all the events the way she's playing.
Yeah.
But Michelle's almost waving the white flag as far as that race is concerned.
yeah, and I think, going to Stanford, and I think that's a big part of her life right now that she really, really enjoys. And I give her a lot of credit for trying to play the tour and going to college, and a tough one at that.
Going to be a junior.
Yeah.
To 14.
And Shi Yunan for eagle. This would sneak up and give her the lead on her own.
And this just straight downhill. Very quick putt. We've seen a lot of players run this well past the hole. Well, she judged that very, very well.
Shi Yunan currently 81st on the money list. Top 80 get into the top priority on the priority list for the LPGA Tour. So good finish this week would jump her up the money list. Here we look at the remaining events on the LPGA schedule. Next week's a big one, the Samsung World Championship. We'll see the first 2 rounds on Golf Channel, and then the other US events and the one in Mexico, of course, on the Golf Channel as well. Beth, we have a few limited field events as well on there.
Yes, we do. All the ones that have the arrows there are all limited field events. So basically, for those trying to get into the top 80, they have 3 events. They have the CVS LPGA Championship, the Navistar LPGA Classic, and the LPGA Tour Championship, which is 125 players at the end of the year. But those would be the only opportunities for those players trying to up their priority status.
So you've got to think that the CVS Pharmacy LPGA Challenge and the event in Alabama are going to be key for the players to get inside that top 80. This week they're thinking about it as well. We're also thinking about who's going to win. We'll find out here on Golf Channel.
At the 12th, Nayeon Choi. This is her second.
That was from 134. Really had a pretty good angle from this right-hand side. Oh, but just mishit and went nowhere.
Yeah, it's a little wet down on that side of the fairway, isn't it, Val? So probably just caught it a little heavy.
Yeah, she was in the rough.
To 13.
This is second for Jane Park.
187, right back into the wind, Charlie. Fairway metal. And she's ballooned that up, and it's going to miss the green to the right.
Ooh, we've seen a few balls down in that direction, Donna, and no one has even come close to getting up and down from over there. It's not a very good miss for Jane Park. Now live, MJ Her.
After a huge drive, only has 135 yards left to that back hole location. Has come up a good half club short. She is struggling today.
Well, she's disappointed in the miss, but could have been worse. Back to the 12th.
Angela Stanford, after making the bogey at the 8th hole, it's been all pars since, trying to get something going, trying to chase down the leaders.
Well, Angela here from 123. That's a little grip 9. Right into the wind, coming a little from the right, using the slope.
This will help. So Angela Stanford will have that for birdie to get to 8 under.
Well, and Kim hit earlier in his short front, so could be a little shift here.
Does she help you a little?
Yeah. I've seen her along with the screen yesterday.
This one certainly still hangs in the balance. What a turnaround it was late last year for Angela Stanford. Won 2 tournaments late in 08. To the 18th, Jie Shin, one of our leaders. This her 3rd to the par 5 finishing hole.
Well, she certainly had the length to get there at 2. So having to lay up, but then wow, what a great shot she puts in there.
She has that to take sole possession at 9 under. I know you think that if you were to vote right now, you would vote her the best player in the world.
I think currently, if you look at this year, I think she is the best player in the world right now.
Shi Yunan at 15. She's tied at 8 under.
Oh, she will not be happy with that shot. It's come up quite a bit short.
We were talking about Jie Shin.
Yeah, I mean, she finished 10th last week in Canada. Yeah, I mean, I just think that if you look at her record in the last year, I mean, she currently sits 4th in Rolex Player of the Year points. But, you know, if I'm just looking at this year, I think Jie Shin is the best player right now.
And if she would win here today, she would jump to the top of the Rolex Player of the Year standing as well. So she could double dip, and she'd be the first to do that since
Nancy Lopez in 1978, Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year.
And Jie Shin certainly in good position to do that in 2009. To the 12th, Song Hee Kim will be first to play.
Well, and Beth, this was pretty interesting because they're playing live clean in place, which is a club length within where the ball lies. Song Hee was able to move her ball from where it was further right on the fringe, a club length to the left to give her a little better angle. Otherwise, she was going to have to putt through the fringe the entire way here. So big advantage in them predicting rain here and being able to lift clean in place.
Yeah, that club length makes a huge difference sometimes, Val, and that's why there are players that don't agree with that getting that club length advantage, but when the conditions are really bad, sometimes you need the club length.
She still has an extremely difficult putt here. Beth has to take it up the left side of the hole location, just let it funnel down on this little nose coming off the ridge here. Big left to right.
It's going to take the right-hand turn, but gosh, she judged that speed really well. But, you know, Val, a club length over, she almost would have had to chip it.
She would have had to chip it or could have hit it right in the bunker.
Yeah, so that was a huge break that she got there by playing live clean in place today.
To 13.
Jane Park, her 3rd.
And chipping from the lower part of the right side of the screen. And you see that ball come up way short. She threw it up in the air instead of keeping it down and underneath the wind. I'm very surprised she did that.
Well, Donna, that's been a pretty typical pitch from that position as we head over to the 14th.
And this is Taylor Leon for an eagle and to tie the lead. Started the day at 3 under.
This will move from her right to left and be pretty quick. And it looks like she's hit this firmly, but tell you what, this morning, that's just the amount of rain. This morning, those balls were going almost to the fringe, so just that amount of moisture on the greens has kept these balls from going that far past on the 14th.
Let's go back to 13.
Jane Park to save par. And Don, I know you've just caught up with this group, but boy, through 5 holes, MJ Herr was at 8 under. Jane Park was at 9 under. Since MJ Herr has given 5 strokes back and 5 bogeys, and Jane Park has given 2 back with 3 bogeys and a birdie. So they really let it slide since the 5th.
Well, the conditions aren't that tough out here for that disaster for her. As we're watching Jane Park getting ready for her par putt.
Just a little too much speed there. Doesn't look to me, Donna, like the greens have really slowed down, even though we're starting to catch a decent amount of water.
Yeah, there's a little bit of moisture in it, but I think it really depends. These hole locations are in such positions that you're putting straight downhill on a lot of them, so that's why you're seeing so much speed.
As we catch up with Angela Stanford. This for birdie at the 12th.
And this could get her to 8 under par and a share of the lead.
Very legitimate birdie putt here, Beth. Just back up the hill a little bit. Going to be difficult to judge the speed and match it with the amount of break here to the left. It is very subtle.
Yeah, and that's sort of how these greens are, Val. I mean, it's just very subtle breaks. The speed and the line have to be good. And I think that's why we just aren't seeing a whole lot of putts going in the hole.
Oh, takes a late left-hand turn. So a bit of a missed opportunity there for Angela. She'll stay 1 back. At the 18th, Paula Creamer to finish with a birdie.
Should move from her right to left and right in there.
That's a good finish. Paula never really in the picture this week. 71, 70, and 70 again today.
Well, Paula's still fighting off a bit of that bronchitis that she got at Solheim Cup.
Back at the 12th, Song Hee Kim to save her par, stay 8 under.
Putting back up the hill. Pretty solid on those putts.
She remains 1 over on the day.
Well, and you know, Brian, she kept talking about how she was tired. She looks tired today.
At 15, Shi Yunan with a long one for birdie.
Yeah, very lengthy putt. Oh, gave it a good run.
A little bit of a knee knocker coming back.
Shi Yunan was the 2004 Rookie of the Year on the LPGA Tour.
Despite the rainy conditions, good crowd has turned out today here at Rogers, Arkansas for the final round. Jie Shin has this for birdie to take the lead at 9 under. Then she'll just hang around the clubhouse and see what happens.
Yeah, not a whole lot to this putt. It will move, if anything, to her right if she doesn't have enough speed. She knows it. You can tell by that reaction. She knows it.
64 in the final round. Trying to win for the 3rd time this year. She leads by 1. But her chasers have a lot of holes left here at the Pinnacle Country Club. Can they catch Jie Shin? We'll find out when we come back.
And welcome back. This was just a moment ago on the tee at 13, Angela Stanford.
Well, in a demanding driving hole here, have to hug it down the right-hand side. If you hit it too far, you can hit it through in a hazard.
And we saw a right hand come off the club.
Don't know.
That catches the fairway, but clearly she wasn't very pleased with the swing.
Just not in the face.
Now to 15.
Shi Yunan has this for par to maintain her share of second place. All right, so she stays at 8 under, 1 behind Jie Shin, who's in with that 64, 30 on the back 9 for Jie. To 13.
Sun Young Yu, her approach. Excuse me, this is her third. Drove it poorly here, was not able to get on this green in 2, but boy, what a nice play there. She'll have that to save par.
A little too much spin there. Otherwise, it would have been virtually a tap-in.
Now back to the tee. Song Hee Kim with what looks like a fairway medal.
Well, you know, the thing for her is to keep it in play and stay in front of this. You know, she's got the lead and try to play smart shots, and that's really all she needs.
It looks to me like she's sleepwalking out there. I mean, she's going to wake up at the end of this day and go, holy cow, what an LPGA event.
At the 18th, Morgan Pressel finishing up her week. This is her third to the par 5. She's at even par, a couple over on the day.
Yeah, a little bit of a disappointing week for Morgan.
Considering the start she got off to in round 1, she had it to 5 under par, ended up even on the day.
Yep. And she's kind of struggled since then, just kept it around even par.
Back to 13.
Yanni sang this for birdie, and Donna Capone is now with this group. Donna Yanni got off to a horrible start today, bogeying 4 of the first 6.
And look at this putt that she has now. Had to take it all the way up onto the fringe. Almost an impossible putt to get it close, and now she'll have, what, 18 feet left to save her par.
Well, Donna, you know, she went to work with Dave Stockton, and it makes you wonder if she's thinking a little too much about her putting right now.
Yeah, that could be, although if this 3-putt happens, a lot of it was because of the second shot not getting closer to the hole.
Up to 18.
Natalie Golbus now with her third.
Went for this in 2, just has a pitch shot up the hill. And well done.
Have that for finishing birdie. At 15, Taylor Leone, who has quietly made a move today. She's at 7 under, 2 off the lead, and Taylor, talking about coming out of the blue, she's missed 9 of 12 cuts this year. One of the cuts that she did make came at the season opener at Turtle Bay, where she picked up her career best finish, a tie for 10th place.
Yeah, and this lengthy birdie putt. Move a little left to right.
Looks like good speed.
Good. Didn't quite turn enough. But this Taylor right now is 121st on the money list.
This could be a very important week for her. She's hoping that this is a big break for her career. And speaking of the big break, there's a brand new big break coming your way this October. Big Break Disney Golf. Take a look.
There's a little magic in the air this October. The strongest field of contestants in Big Break history descends on the Walt Disney World Resort. But this is no vacation. Only one will return to these courses next fall to compete on the PGA Tour. They'll be taking on challenges with an all-new twist, and you never know who's gonna show up. Watch a dream come true on the all-new Big Break Disney Golf, beginning October 13th, only on Golf Channel.
Back out at 13, Sun Young Yu. This to save her par. Well done there.
Oh, what a par there, coming up from that right side of the green that you and I have been talking about, Charlie. Players have not got that ball close to the hole.
Yeah, great save. That almost has to feel like a birdie.
Yeah, it's a hard hole today.
Up to 18.
And Morgan Pressel will be first to play, stalking her birdie putt.
Yeah, and we were talking about how Morgan had it to 5 under early in the tournament, gave them all back, and really just has not been able to get much going this week. But sometimes you have weeks like that.
When you get a wet golf course, that certainly doesn't fit her style of play. I mean, she's not a long player, and this golf course has been saturated all week long.
Well, it's true, but she actually hit a good putt there, just not quite enough speed to hold that line. But you know, this golf course is just under 6,300 yards to start with, so it's not a real long golf course. So you would think this would be a good golf course for Morgan regardless of the weather conditions, because it's not one of the lengthier courses.
Over to 13.
Song Hee Kim first to play.
From 151 uphill into the wind. Great hole location here today, way back in the left.
Val, we haven't really seen anybody left of this hole location. All the misses have been way out to the right.
Well, there's a good reason for that. The bunker guards up front left, and that roll off in the back of the green on the left-hand side motivates them to hit it down the right-hand side. It's not really officially a birdie hole. You're not going to throw a dart at it. You just want to give yourself a good putt at it. This is a 6-iron.
There's a great look from right behind the golf ball.
She definitely went right at it.
And she'll be rewarded with an uphill birdie effort, one of the best approaches we've seen at this 13th today. Well played. Now back to 18.
And Natalie Gulbis. That's not Natalie Gulbis.
So
Irene Cho. That was at the 17th. To 13.
Now Angela Stanford. This is her second to the par 4.
That was a 7-iron. She's flag hunting as well.
Needs to release a little bit, but she also has an uphill putt.
2 very good plays. Final round of the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship. G.I. Shin is our leader at 9 under par.
Well, the good news is the rain that continues to fall is of the very light variety, as it has been all day. So we play on, and G.A. Shin continues to lead at 9 under after posting that 64. Now Natalie Gulbis for birdie at 18.
Yeah, this will move just a little bit to her left. Good up and down. Shoot 1 under today.
To 13.
Song Hee Kim, this for birdie.
Yeah. Song Hee, be nice for her to get something to drop today. See her aiming just a little bit out to the left, and that will go that way. So that's a complete misread.
Yeah, that was a horrible misread there. She'll take a long time walking around the hole to try and figure out what happened there. Meanwhile, we'll go to the 17th.
And Michelle Wee has reached this par 3, playing 192 today.
Ideally, you want to keep it out just a little at the hole, but that is kind of the shot that Michelle has had all week, just losing it to the right.
We'll go back to the 13th green.
And Angela Stanford has this for birdie. This has got to be very makeable from here.
Yeah, I would think. Well, we've seen some players make this for par from where Angela is.
Well, Beth, it's really in the most level spot where you could be from around this whole location. Not much at all, maybe just a right edge putter inside the hole.
Val, how has Angela been, like, mentally today on the golf course?
Well, you know, when Angela walks a little bit faster, I think it's a better pace for her. She seems as though she's a little bit in slow motion right now, but, you know, she's hit some quality shots here other than the shot she hit at 11. She's hit very good shots, you know, on every hole on this back 9. So now it's just a matter of converting a couple of these birdie putts, and I think we'll see her speed up and get her adrenaline going.
Well, let's see if she can convert this one. This is one of her better looks at birdie that she's had back here.
Well, and typically just fundamentally a great putter, wonderful rhythm and pace, and reads the greens well.
I just hung that out to the right, never released the putter. And I guess my question with Angela is that, is she putting too much pressure on herself today to try and win?
With that missed opportunity, Angela Stanford remains at 7 under par. She is 2 behind our leader, G.A. Shin, who was just spotted in the parking lot behind the clubhouse doing a rain dance.
It stands here in Rogers, Arkansas. G.A. Shin with that 64 continues to lead by 1. Shi Yunan, Song Hee Kim, Sun Young Yu are all just 1 back. Angela Stanford now 2 back to 16.
Shi Yunan, this to save par. Very nice par save there for An. Let's move back up to 18.
And Christina Kim trying to finish with a birdie. Christina sporting a new hairdo this week. One of the many players who gave some blocks on what was a Wednesday night.
Yep.
Make wigs from the hair.
She had grown her hair out very, very long. Got it cut, sporting the pigtails today, and a bit of a struggle for Christina today.
To 17.
And Michelle Wee's second shot coming out of the bunker on the front right of the green.
Just nipped it a little too much there.
In a good group today, playing with Paige McKenzie and Christy Kerr. And Beth, during the Solheim Cup, seemed to me like Michelle was really taking a lot from Kerr.
She was. I mean, I purposely put her in practice rounds and also paired her in the foursomes with Christy because, you know, I felt like the veteran influence would be really good for Michelle, and they got along very, very well. Christy was actually paired with Michelle at Evian, and they sort of got to know each other there a little bit, so it worked out really well.
Yeah, Michelle actually, I think there was a little incident at Evian where Michelle was just off the green and she hadn't marked her ball properly or something when they were doing preferred lies, and Christy came up and said, Michelle, you're going to make a mistake here, and Michelle said that was a big moment for her, that Christy was looking out for her. She felt part of the tour, part of the group out here, and that was certainly the case at the Solheim Cup.
Wow. And she just has not been able to get much going on here. So she will make her bogey there.
2 over par today, not really the day that she was looking for, and that says it all. We'll go back to the 16th hole.
Taylor Leon. This will be her 3rd. Got into some problems off the tee here at this difficult par 4.
Charlie, she went to University of Georgia. Wonder if she watched that football game last night.
I'm sure she did. She's a longtime resident of Athens, Georgia, the home University of Georgia. I occasionally see her out practicing. She left UGA after 2 years. She had a couple of wins on the Futures Tour. little surprised that it's taken her this long to get comfortable with her game. A lot of talent this young lady has. And I think if she can finish this round, Beth, and have a nice solid maybe top 5, top 6 finish, it'll really help her maybe mentally as much as anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And being 121st on the money list, she really has struggled this year, except for that one top 10. And possibly it will carry over into the couple of remaining events that she would have to try and get priority status.
Pretty good play there. She'll have that to save her par and remain at 7 under as we move over to the 17th.
Well, here is Christy Kerr for birdie. Gets Christy back to level par. Her mother is here this week. Just saw her in the clubhouse before we went on the air watching the golf. I'm sure that'll put a smile on her face. Go back to the 14th. This is Sung Young Yu.
163 yards, you guys, all the way to the hole. 155 to carry the front part of the green. Hole's playing straight downwind, and these players have just bombed it. Yu is ranked 7th in Eagles, has already had 6 this year.
Coached by Andrew Park, Dono, at the Ledbetter Academy down in Champions Gate, Florida.
Settle down. I don't know if that'll roll back after it hits that back shelf.
No, that will not, Donna. And just a little hot coming in there.
We'll go up to the final hole.
And Stacy Lewis, hometown favorite, went to the University of Arkansas, just about a half hour down the road. It's her second. Bunkered.
Yeah, came back nicely in the second round with a good round. And
back to 14.
And Yani Singh, it was almost as if she heard you there, Brian.
Tell her I'm sorry.
I'll tell her.
What have we got, Donna?
Well, she has 158 to the hole, 150 to carry the front part of the green. We've talked about how much she works with Dave Stockton. She also works with Ronnie Stockton, who works on her long game. He's caddied for her a number of times out here. This is just an 8-iron. Stay in the air ball. No. She did not hit that soft.
Is that in the grass there? Or did
yes,
that, yeah,
it did not go in the water.
Yeah, it's
sorry.
quite a big bank
just
there,
the grass.
isn't it? Yeah. A lot of room between the green and that water hazard. We will go to the 17th tee, and Shi Yunan. This is playing the most difficult hole so far today. Shi Yunan finding the putting surface, just one shot back of the lead, which is held by Jie Shin at 9 under after a 64 today. So An Kim and Sun Young Yu all chasing Jie Shin. Angela Stanford 2 back, and Taylor Leon putting in a fine performance, and she needs a big check. We'll go to the 14th tee, the par 5, dogleg right to left, and Val Skinner is there.
Well, and it's just a great par 5. They changed this hole a little bit off the tee here, moved it forward, gave it a much better risk reward. You want to take it way up over these trees on the left-hand side and just beat it.
it's like she's trying to hit a kind of slinging hook and did not do it, Val.
No, she caught that down that right-hand mounding and got a lucky kick. She's going to pay for that.
Take a look at this par 5 14th, stroke average 4.71. We have had one eagle today, 27 birdies. Playing as the second easiest hole. And Val, is it still downwind?
It is downwind, Tom, and it's the big advantage is to take it over the grouping of trees and just stay committed to keeping the ball close to that left-hand side, and you just get nothing in here. You can get 160, 170 to the hole.
That looked like it started on a good line. Oh, no, too far left. That hit the trees and it could possibly be in the hazard on the left.
We will find out when we come back. That outfit, she looks like she might be running in the 3:10 at Churchill Downs, but she's jockeying for a win at the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship.
Round of the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship, and we have a real shootout in our hands. Jie Shin is in at 9 under par. Several players still within striking distance. Shi Yunan, Song Hee Kim, Sun Young Yu just 1 back. Angela Stanford, Taylor Leone 2 back. Angela with a couple of par 5s yet to play as she tries to come from behind. To 16.
Taylor Leone, this to save par. Move it poorly here. Was not able to reach this green. Wedged it to that point. Well, that was a good effort.
Really was. A little too much speed. If it had been just a little less speed, it would have taken that break and been right in.
Up to 17.
And live with Shi Yunan. Important part this to share the lead.
Now that'll roll off to the right now. Good speed.
She will need to make a birdie at the 18th, Beth.
To have any kind of chance, yeah. And Shi Yunan, best finish of the year is 16th so far. Very surprising.
Sun Young Yu for eagle and the lead at 14. Things beginning to change. What could it be?
Look at that.
And she hit a beautiful 6-iron in here, guys, that almost hole it out. Pitch mark was right next to the hole.
Of course, that will tie the lead when she knocks that one in. So wherever Jie Shin is at the Pinnacle Country Club, on the edge of her seat, I'm sure. This is at the 16th. Sorry, the 15th, excuse me.
And Jane Park for bogey as she continues to back up.
I'll hit her tee shot in the water here. This'll. Wow.
It'll be her second double bogey in the last 3 holes. In fact, she's gone double at 13, bogey at 14, double at 15. Ouch. Back to 14.
And Sun Young Yu to tie the lead. And it goes. So Jie Shin and Sun Young Yu now lead the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship. We'll go back down the fairway at the 14th. Angela Stanford, second shot.
Oh, and that was a smoked 4-iron from 195. Little too smoked, Beth.
Well, just she needed to hit a little higher. That landed right on the front fringe, but it was just coming in way too hot.
Oh, she had a hook lie, ball above her feet, and really hit a pretty good shot from where she was, in between clubs.
This is Nayeon Choi with her second shot. Val, while we've got a moment, just update us on Sun Hee Kim, because we saw her go left, didn't we, in the tree?
Yeah, and she drew an okay lie, but she had some tree limbs overhanging and just had to bun it out, and she hit it dangerously close in her layup to the hazard down there, so we'll see where that ended up. And for now, Nayeon Choi just looking at 170 to get it to the front of this green. Hole location only 8 on. Really strong wind pushing. That needs to be a solid 5-iron. It looks like it is.
Oh yeah, flew that past the hole, Val. With this hole being downwind, that is really difficult, almost impossible to get that kind of iron close to the hole.
Well, we will return to the 14th for Kim in just a moment. First, let's go up to the final hole.
And if this goes, Stacy Lewis for birdie, you will hear a huge roar. They love her here.
Oh my gosh. Wow, she hit a really good putt. Had it on the high side, just did not take the turn.
Good rally yesterday to make the cut after that opening round 73. Back to 14.
This is Kim. And Beth, what have we got? Oh, sorry, Beth, Val.
Let's see if we can hear. Talking a little bit about the lie. She got a drop. And I'm working my way down here to see why.
I tell you what, it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, that is a little bit confusing as to why she would get a drop when she was in the rough.
Potentially she hit in the hazard. I just arrived at the site.
Well, this is her fourth shot. That shot that she bunted down the fairway did go in the water, so big mistake for Kim.
Yes, I just got that confirmed from the score here. Just 70 yards to this hole now. Needs to pull the string.
Well, she hit a good shot in. She'll have a difficult putt, but that is an enormous mistake.
Yeah, it could be a big swing.
Yes.
Par putt coming up for Kim, and she's currently one back to the tee at the 15th.
And Sun Young Yu tied for the lead.
And 7-iron in hand.
Leaning left.
Yeah, she's hit that to the right, just in that collection area, Beth.
Sun Young Yu and Jie Shin are tied for the lead. We'll come back with more final round action in a moment. We're tied at the top. Jie Shin, Sun Young Yu. A lot of players still very much in the picture as we head down the stretch as we go out to 14.
Angela chipping down this hill.
Well, and she's paced this beautifully, Beth.
Oh, yeah.
From an awkward stance at that.
So she'll have that for birdie to get to within one of the top spot. Over the 15th, Sun Young Yu missed the green. This will be her second.
And talk about short-sighting yourself, but has a good lie in this Zoysia fairway that's really been cut down there. And I do believe she could chip this in. She may have short-sighted herself, but with the loft of clubs now, bump and run, just like that. How'd I do? Oh, goodness.
She had it online.
I had that feeling.
She did have it online, Donna, just a little bit short. Well, very well done.
A couple of top 10 finishes this year to this point for Sun Young Yu.
And you know, I was looking at her scores, and she hasn't, her scores are just like par, a little bit under, a little bit over, but nothing hysterical like 80s. And
at the 16th, Pat Hurst, this for birdie. Boy, Pat is, she's been on Mr. Toad's wild ride today, Beth. You know the ride at Disney World goes up and down and up and down. Check this out.
Unbelievable.
Just 2 pars on her scorecard for the whole day. 35 on the front, and then look at the back. No pars on the back 9. I mean, the total on that is 6 birdies, 6 bogeys, a double bogey. Mentioned just the 2 pars. She's going to be ready to get off this golf course today. Now back to 14.
And Song Hee Kim. This will be for par.
This will move from her left to right, and a very difficult putt coming downhill, side hill.
Well, and after you've just laid it up in a hazard when you were playing it safe, she might be a little nauseous.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher, Val. It's like, you know, you look back on that, it's just a huge mistake. Did she hit it?
Oh, she got away with it.
How about that par?
Major acid test.
How about that par?
So she stays just one off the pace.
Our caddy keeps his job.
Yeah, she deserves a hug after that one. He might deserve an elbow in the side.
At the 18th, Michelle Wie with her third.
Well, obviously having the length to go for it in two, pulled it. And that just kind of almost bladed that a little bit.
Back to 14, Angela Stanford for birdie. So Angela gets to 8 under par. She's a shot back.
What a great up and down.
It's getting even closer at the top of the leaderboard. See how it plays out when we come back to the Northwest Arkansas area. GolfChannel.com staff and Golf Channel talent keep you up to date as they blog about everything from around the world of golf. This week, Randall Mell is at the Walker Cup and Rex Hoggard is at the BMW Championship. The Shag Bag blog is on GolfChannel.com's homepage. At the 18th, Christy Kerr has reached into and has this for eagle.
Left herself in a good position on this green for this putt, but did not hit it. Little uphill putt. Didn't give it enough.
She, of course, leads the standings for the Player of the Year. Na-Yeon Choi on the tee at 15.
Well, in a great hole location, tucked in this right-hand corner. That was 142 is the number into the wind.
Got to be left.
Well, she floated that way up in the air.
Yeah, she just never got through it, Val. Never drove it down the line.
And Michelle Wie for birdie at 18.
Let's see if Michelle can end with a birdie here. And that has been a bit of the story of her week.
Back to 15 now. Angela Stanford coming off that birdie at 14 that got her to within one of the top spot.
Well, and as I mentioned, 142 is a number, but this hole plays down a club. There is some breeze back into you that you can feel from the tee. The flag is fairly still. 140 is a stock 8-iron for Angela, but I'm assuming she would take one off of that and go with the 9 here.
See the trees blowing behind Angela there. Sometimes hard to get a feel for the wind.
She had that feel.
Yep, very nicely done, right below the hole. And Val, I do think the difficulty of this hole is that, you know, that tee sits up on top of the hill, and sometimes you feel a different wind than what might be down at the green.
Well, and it's a big green. You know you have a lot of room to hit it, and it's just, it sounds crazy, but you tend to steer it off an elevated tee a little bit too with wind, so.
Well, and particularly when you have a short iron.
Yeah,
you
harder.
kind of steer it a little bit.
Harder to keep it underneath it.
Song Hee Kim. That's a big par save back at the 14th.
Feeling pretty good about that opportunity. Just a little 8-iron.
She never tries to hit anything too hard. And that's a super shot.
So she'll have a look at birdie to get her back into a tie for the lead. Let's send you down now to Tom Abbott.
Well, thank you, Brian. Here with Stacey Lewis, a round of 71 today, finished 2 under for the championship. We're just seeing the final group play the 15th tee shots. Tell us about how those last 4 holes are playing.
It's playing really difficult. 15 is just dead into the wind today, and then 16 is, I mean, you make par there, you're probably getting a stroke on the field. So, and then 17 is just long and hard. So it's brutal out there. So I think getting in early and posting around will help a lot of people.
Yeah, just like Jie Shin.
Right.
It's a big week for you, isn't it? Because you went to the University of Arkansas and you live here in Fayetteville. Have you called the Hogs recently? Is that what you do? The Pig Suey call?
Yeah, people call the Hogs here, but It's not really a thing you do by yourself.
Can you do it for us?
No, you don't do it by yourself.
Well, we don't need you to do it for us because we already have it.
Oh gosh.
Let's take a look. Here it is. There you are in the middle.
Yep, I was there in the Pro-Am on Wednesday.
How special is this week for you?
It's awesome. It's great. Just playing in front of my family and friends, and I have so many fans here that they love and support the Razorbacks no matter what I do. So it's such a fun week. It's awesome.
We're very lucky to go out and play the course that the University of Arkansas plays, the Blessings,
Yes.
and you do a lot of practice out there. It's good facilities for you, and you make your home here.
Right, I do. I mean, the practice facilities are just unbelievable there, and it's the third hardest golf course in the country. So it's something that, it's great for practicing, and I just love the area. So in the process of buying a house, so I'll be an Arkansas resident soon.
Well, good luck with that,
All right.
and good luck with the rest of the season.
All right,
Stacey, thanks for stopping by. Let's get back to you, Brian.
Tom, what were you doing playing the third hardest golf course in the country? Michelle Wie for par here at the 18th. It'll be a disappointing week for Michelle. 73 today. Still waiting for that first win to come for this very talented player. Jie Shin, Sun Young Yu tied, with several giving chase. Stay with us.
And welcome back out at the 16th. Sun Young Yu, her second.
Now the hardest hole on this golf course here at Pinnacle, 183 yards from the rough. And she just topped it out of that lie. The lie actually wasn't that bad, but she probably tried to dig it out. This is a very hard hole.
And Donna, that's a good 50, 60 yards short of the front edge of the green.
Yeah, that's just about 60.
Back to 15.
Just a moment ago, Angela Stanford for birdie.
Coming up the hill. Just ran it right through. That should have turned just a touch to the right at the end as it died.
Now live, Song Hee Kim for birdie. This could get her back into a share of the lead.
And a great look at this. Not much break. Coming off making that putt on the last hole, but can't convert that one.
Shi Yunan trailing by one. This her second to the par 5 finishing hole.
It's going with the hybrid. Off a downhill lie, hitting uphill to the screen. And how about this?
She will have that for eagle to get to 10 under par. Here's where things stand. And that par 5 finishing hole might turn out to be a real exciting hole before this day is over.
Now that hole's been playing downwind this week, and it really has made it reachable, and yeah, it does make for some excitement in the finish.
2-putt from Shi Yunan, and she'll join Jie Shin and Sun Young Yu at 9 under. That was a moment ago. Now Shi Yunan looking at her eagle opportunity. If she can get this to go, she'll post at 10 under.
Yeah, and this hole set in like a lower area of the green, and her ball is actually sitting up on a spine that runs down the middle of this green. So she'll be putting downhill, and at the end the ball should move just a touch to her right.
While we wait, let's go back to 15. Angela Stanford for her par to stay one back. Oh, that could be costly.
Whew. Wow. After making that great birdie on 14 to get herself back within 1, 3 putts here.
She now trails by 2. back to the 18th. Shi-Yun on for eagle in the lead.
Well, Shi-Yun on, one of the better putters on our tour statistically.
Oh, and that's no gimme birdie coming back.
Oh, that's what we're saying, the downhill, and she just gave it way too much. And you know, here's someone who really has not had a very good year, putting herself in a position to try and win a golf tournament, and you have to think that a little bit of adrenaline gets in the way there.
81st on the money list is Shi-Yun on. And that's not something you would expect from a player of this caliber.
Yeah. And normally a very good putter, but like I say, when you have not been in this position to try and win a golf tournament in a while, definitely the nerves come into play, the adrenaline is a factor.
No top 10 finishes this year. Best a tie for 16th at the McDonald's LPGA Championship. But if she can get this to go, she'll be tied for the lead here in Rogers, Arkansas.
Yeah, good 10-footer here for a birdie. Just has to regroup.
Wow. On in two. Good look at eagle. 3 putts for par. And she'll come up 1 shot shy of G.A. Shin, who's in the clubhouse at 9 under. Out to 16.
Critical shot for Sun Young Yu, one of our co-leaders here at the 16th, her 3rd to this par 4.
75 yards to that whole location. Another green that pitches back to front. Have to be very careful about the spin back into the wind.
Oh boy, that spin back drilled her there, Donna.
Yeah, she would have loved to have flown it past the flag and spun it back.
So Sun Young Yu will be looking at that putt for par at the 16th to remain tied for the lead with G.A. Shin. Both of those players at 9 under par. We'll be right back after this. And we're back at the 16th. Song Hee Kim. This for par to remain tied for the lead. It's right at 30 feet. Boy, that just never had a chance, Donna.
Yu's putt was wide right the whole way. You know, I think these greens, Beth, are so difficult to read, and I think that's why we haven't seen a lot of putts drop. You know, as you guys have talked about, they've changed them all and relearning the breaks. I've seen some misreads that were just amazing.
Yeah, it takes a while to get to learn the greens of a golf course, and you know, when we were out putting the other day, Donna, we were surprised by some of the breaks.
Yes.
G.A. Shin didn't have any problems today. Wonderful round of 7 under par under difficult scoring conditions. No bogeys. She has been in the clubhouse for quite some time. She leads at 9 under. Now let's go to the 17th.
This is Hai-Jung Choi. Second shot from the bunker. Similar shot to the one we saw Michelle Wee play.
Well, Tom, I think this bunker is going to be a pretty popular spot today. Hitting right back up into the hill, and she just did not fly that far enough.
It was a similar result to Michelle Wee as well.
Yep.
So Hai-Jung Choi started the day at 5 under par. 1 under for her round. It'll be ahead to the 18th.
Stacy Promenade with her 3rd.
Stacy lives not too far from here, Oklahoma.
Stacy got off to a good start. Birdied 2 of her first 4, got it to 6 under, but has played the rest of the way at 4 over. And we'll have that for birdie at the last.
See that, take that spin right off of that spine that runs down the middle of the green and send it way to the right.
16.
Nari Kim, this for birdie. Kim began the day at 5 under, got off to a tough start. Double bogey at the par 5 second. He's not really been able to recover from that point.
Looks like she has that on line. Oh.
The 16th has only given up 2 birdies today, Beth. Tough little corner here, 16 and 17. 17's only given up 1.
This is the 3rd shot for Taylor Leone at the par 5 18th. Well done. If she can birdie that, she could get into the top 5.
Very well done. Taylor comes from a golfing family. Both her brothers are golfers. One of them, Tyler, plays the mini tours and sometimes nationwide. And her brother Trent just finished his senior year at OSU.
Is on her way to her career best finish. Good time to do it. Late in the year, needing to move up that money list. Trying to get some exempt status for next year. Back to 16.
Angela Stanford in the fairway, waiting for the green to clear, and coming off the bogey. Probably not the best thing in the world, Val, for her to be standing around waiting right now.
Well, exactly, Charlie. You know, that's but that's the experience that you learn when you win tournaments or you play well. Beth, you know better than anyone that you just have to be patient. You can't control what's going to happen. You can't get ahead of yourself. You can't think about the ending.
Well, let's have a look at last 6 events for Angela Stanford coming into this week. Tough time in her life, Beth. You know, she didn't play very well. Her mom is going through chemo right now for breast cancer, and she found out about that around the time that they were playing Jamie Barr Owens Corning. But you know, difficult time right now for Angela Stanford and her family.
Yeah, very emotional time. Angela being so close to her mother. So it is a tough time. I mean, she feels like she goes through it with her, but she's a big support for her mom.
The prognosis is good for her mom.
It
so
is
we're
very good,
all very
yes.
happy to hear that. Now to the green, Sun Young Yu, this for bogey, and this is no gimme.
Well, you're right about that. Oh, good save.
Nice stroke there.
Oof.
So she drops to 8 under par. Jie Shin is now our leader at 9 under.
That's the idea here, right? We're going to try and get it up there. Make
Now
it
Angela Stanford.
Looks like to me you got that angle.
She at this point has got to take dead aim at this whole location.
Yeah,
It's commitment now.
She's got 176 back to this left-hand hole location. Little bit of an overhanging tree. This hole playing the most difficult on average this week, and it's living up to its reputation, especially where she hit this tee ball. This is going to be a hard hit 5-iron.
That's low, all right.
Kept it underneath the limb, but I think she thinned it just more than she meant to. That wasn't intentional to hit it that low. Went through the green on the right.
So it's a little long and right. Yeah, that's not the shot she needed at this point in time.
No, and that's the difficult part of the green to get it up and down from, too, from the right side of this.
Nayan Choi next to play.
Well, and she's tied with Angela. She has a more difficult shot. Hit it further down this right-hand side from 162. Tree is absolutely blocking her. Has to cut it. Has a bad lie.
Well, Val, it actually looks like she's going to try and go between these trees and run it up on the green.
Well, good luck with that. There's an out of bounds just to the right of that tree.
Well, she did try to go between them.
She pulled that part off, just didn't hit it hard enough, but a good play,
Yeah.
gutsy play.
She's going to have plenty of green left there for her third.
Well, and it just, you know, kind of makes you think, as difficult as these holes are playing in, Jie Shin definitely has the upper hand in this golf tournament right now.
Now Song Hee Kim, the final member of this final pairing.
159, 138 will cover that front left-hand bunker. A little wind at her. Got to take one more. threw it way up in the air, drifting right.
Well, that catches the surface, but will be a very lengthy birdie putt for Song Hee Kim. Let's go up to 18.
And Taylor Leone for birdie.
Similar putt that we just saw Xiaonan have. Better result for Taylor in a great tournament.
Great week for Taylor Leone. 68, 67, final 2 rounds. That moves her right now into a tie for 5th place. To 17.
And Sun Young Yu, who must make birdie one of these 2 holes to get in the playoff. A couple of birdies and the title could well be hers.
Well, 192 into this strong wind. She's been working with Andrew Park, trying to get her left arm leading down the line. I think you had a conversation with him this morning, Tom.
That's right, yeah. And they've been doing some good work down at Champions Gate, Donna.
That's terrific. She has a beautiful golf swing. That's the second one. She pulled it off the tee on the last hole. She's pulled this one long. Oh my goodness, it's deep in the rough. That will be an unbelievable up and down.
So Sun Young Yu in a little bit of trouble at the 17th. She is 1 back of Jie Xin. Stay with us.
Jie Xin continues the lead by 1, and that lead looking more and more comfortable. These players fall by the wayside out to the 16th.
This was just a moment ago. Angela Stanford, her 3rd.
Really kind of a dicey lie here. Could do anything. Oh, what a play.
Boy, she judged that perfectly.
By far the best shot we've seen from the right side of the green.
Probably the best shot she's hit all week.
Well, that was just moments ago. Now live, Song Hee Kim, this for birdie. I've got to think that Song Hee Kim, having seen Angela Stanford's ball roll along the green on a similar line, has to be helpful.
Yeah, just to, even for helping to judge the speed, that sort of thing. And that spine that comes off the back right of the green will not affect her as much from where she is.
Oh, what a nice attempt that was. Very good speed, gave that a chance. Just a little bit too far away from the hole. Poor approach there. Now let's move up to 17.
Sun Young Yu is her 2nd.
What a tough shot. This is straight downhill. Oh, look at this shot. Slow down. You know, she hit it only, what, a foot in front of her where it landed. That's the best that she could do from where she was.
Yeah, that is just so severely downhill.
She's going to need to make that to avoid back-to-back bogeys. Back to 16.
Kim, this to save par. Good solid 4th, a difficult 16th.
Just has not gotten anything going. Bogeyed the 8th hole and has made all the rest pars today for Song Hee Kim.
And Na Yeon Choi. This for par. We've seen this putt miss to the right quite frequently today.
Yeah, a lot of players have felt like this is going to turn right to left, and it just does not do it. And they've missed by a lot, too.
She needs to make this if she's going to stay in the golf tournament at 7 under. Oh, and she did, and that is dead center, perfect speed. Very critical par. And she still has a shot of catching our leader, Jie Xin, who's at 9 under. And let's head up to the 18th.
And Helen Alfredson. Helen even par on the day. This will be her 3rd.
Well, and Helen was in New York earlier in the week doing her part in the commissioner search. She's had to put in a little extra time. Players are very grateful to her and Julie Inkster for the time that they've put in on that new commissioner search. Putting up the hill here off the fringe. She give it enough? Not quite.
That'll be for birdie for Helen. She can still play the game at a very high level. There's Taylor Leone in that tie for 5th place, 67 today. She's with Tom.
Yeah, finished at 7 under, and I think tied 5th. It looks like it's going to be your best career finish. Congratulations on that. What was different this week for you?
I've really struggled this year. Last week I went to go see my brothers up in Oklahoma State who are professional golfers, and they really just helped me with my swing. I hit a lot more greens than I've been hitting this year.
We can take a look at your shot on 18, I think, and it was a great finish, making birdie on that final hole.
Yeah, that was always a good way to end. It was just straight up the hill, so.
A nice way to get it done. Now, is it easier having 2 brothers that are such good golfers?
Yes, I'm very lucky. They have a good eye, so whenever I need help, I always go to them, and they just live right up in Oklahoma, so I can always count on them. So I might have to cut them a little with a paycheck this week.
Especially if they're watching this interview.
Exactly. I probably shouldn't have said that.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the year, and you're certainly going to move up a long way on that money list.
It.
Thank you. Brian, let's go back to you.
We're back at the 17th. Sun Young Yu for her par.
And this is big. Keep her tied for the lead. Look at this. How about that?
Wow.
Right in the heart.
That keeps her hopes alive.
And she has the opportunity to go to 18 and get to 10 under now.
Final group waiting back at the tee on 17.
And you get a good look at how narrow that green is.
Angela Stanford's going to have to do some flag hunting here.
Yep. Discussing it with her caddy Dan Chapman.
On the corner.
While they wait,
Yeah, let's say it carries.
let's go to 18. Pat Hurst for birdie.
Coming down the hill.
Oh, that's a rare par that she's going to make. What a day it's been for Pat.
Oh, roller coaster ride for sure.
I'm not sure it was a roller coaster ride that she enjoyed very much. Back to 17. Nayeon Choi first to play.
Well, the actual yardage is 192, but there is no way that number's in play today. That's probably the front, actually, you know, to carry the right-hand bunker. You can take this shot up the left-hand side and let it feed off a ridge that opens it up to that back corner, which is 190 yards, playing about 205.
Yeah, right at the TV tower would be the perfect play.
That's where she's got it lined.
Go.
Way up in the air. It's got to fight that wind.
Whew. Just ballooned it, Val.
And just not the shot to hit there, but she needed to hit all she had.
Over to 18, Helen Alfredson for her birdie.
Seen this pretty straight up the hill. No, not a good stroke there for Helen.
Nevertheless, it's going to be a top 10 finish for Helen this week. It'll be her 3rd of the year. Back to 17.
This is Song Hee Kim. Needs a birdie.
She's also going to go with the fairway medal. Might just abbreviate this finish a little bit, Beth, to keep that ball down. Wind's lightened up a little bit. It's going to be left of the hole location and in the same spot as Choi.
Yeah, both of them misjudging the wind.
Well, here comes the wind player, the Texas Special, coming right up. It's going to be a hot, hard 4.
Val, are there leaderboards around that they can see where they stand?
Actually, yes, but probably not within, you know, a position that the players would look at. But if they were looking for them, they can find them. They're here. Angela's got to carry this ball at least 190 yards. It's going to be a juiced up 4-iron. Kept it underneath the wind. It's hooking.
It's going to end up in the same spot. That landed just on the front fringe.
It's just not enough club for her there. Can understand the selection.
Angela Stanford 2 behind G.A. Shin. Stanford needs to birdie 17 and 18 to win. Can she do it? We'll find out when we come back.
Here's the situation. G.A. Shin has been in for a while. After shooting 64, she leads at 9 under par. Song Hee Kim, Sun Young Yu still have a chance. Just one back. Angela Stanford still trying to stay alive. Sun Young Yu now on the tee at the par 5 18th, trailing by 1.
A very important tee shot for her. Has to keep the ball in the fairway to allow her to reach this green in 2.
She's done that, Donna. It looks like a big drive.
Well, G.A. Shin has been in for a while, but now thinks it's time to get loose in case there might be a playoff. G.A. Shin, one of the 2 multiple winners on the LPGA Tour this year. Lorena Ochoa the other. As we told you earlier, G.A. Shin very much in the picture for both Rookie of the Year, which she has a firm grasp on, and she could still be Player of the Year. And a win here would vault her to the top of those standings. Back to 17.
Of course, if she were to be able to do that, Brian, be the first player since Nancy Lopez in 1978. We go to the 17th green, and Song Hee Kim. And what an important putt this is.
A very important putt, but a lengthy one.
Well, she did catch a little bit of a read off of Choi's putt. Preceded her on almost the identical line. It is a little bit uphill, Beth, and initially, and then it feeds down to the right. So judging the speed is extremely difficult. Feels like, from watching the ball roll, it's into the green as well.
Well, and her speed has been good all day and continues to be good.
So it looks like it'll be a par for Song Hee Kim. She will need a birdie at the 18th, but there is a possibility of an eagle. The birdie would get her into a playoff with G.A. Shin, who's on the range at the moment, warming up. She's been AWOL for a little while, but we tracked her down. She's gone out to the range. Angela Stanford now, and this is you've got to think a must-make, Val.
Oh, no question. I mean, this is. She's got this one and the next one. Also, by the way, her father is also here watching, and he's just recently gone through shoulder surgery. So the Stanford family has had their share of medical issues, but he's excited. He's nervous. I just spoke to him, and he says, I can't find enough gum to chew.
I don't think he made the trip to Solheim. I don't think he was well enough with the shoulder surgery. But her mum drove 15 hours over 2 days to watch her at the Solheim. This for birdie on 17.
Oh, it's got to go. Wow, what a good putt.
She will need an eagle at 18. The 17th, she's 2 behind. She must make eagle at 18 to tie Jie Shin. Speaking of eagle, it's our golfnow.com shot of the day. Third shot at the second hole, the par 5. She did it the hard way. In it goes for a 3. That hole not reachable in 2, but you can still make an eagle. That's our golfnow.com shot of the day. She would love to do that again. And we will find out whether Angela can make an eagle and tie the lead of Jie Shin, who's warming up on the range for a potential playoff. It's coming down to the wire in Rogers, Arkansas.
Jie Shin with a 1-shot lead. Sun Young Yu hit her drive on 18 perfectly down the middle. Let's see if she can get there in 2 to set up an eagle opportunity.
193 to the front, 213 to the flag, 3 hybrid. That ball stays in the air, it's good.
All right, so she'll have that for eagle, 2 putts to tie. Let's get you down now to Tom Abbott.
Well, thank you, Brian, here with Jeff Schomburger from P&G Beauty. Jeff, thanks for having us this week. It's been a great visit to Rogers, Arkansas, but how successful has this week been for you?
Thank you, Tom. We are thrilled at where we are just after 3 years with this event. The community has embraced it big time. There's a buzz right across Northwest Arkansas. We've had the governor here, all the mayors involved, and all businesses have stepped up to help make this a great event for the fans. Secondly, we've got a great field. We've got 10 of the top players from the Solheim Cup, and it's just great to see all the stars come out here for our fans as well. And then finally, we've got a great course. We spent $6 million renovating the course, closed it for almost a year, and I've had several caddies and players tell me that the greens that they're playing on this week are as good as anything they play across the LPGA.
Yeah, it certainly looked in great condition from our pictures, but are we going to be here next year?
That's a good question. I don't have any details yet, Tom, but yes, we're committed, and the LPGA will be back in Northwest Arkansas in 2010.
Well, we look forward to it. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
Brian,
Tom.
let's go back to you.
Well, that is very good news. This is a golf-starved area. They're finally getting a break weather-wise this week. Forecast was horrible all week long, but it appears we're going to dodge all those bullets. Well, Song Hee Kim trailing by 1 on the tee at 18.
Ooh, it's got that going a little bit left, and there is a bunker in play over there. Blew it over that, but got a wicked left kick.
Yeah, that is in the rough to the left, Val. That could be in some trouble.
Might make this a 3-shot hole for Song Hee Kim. Also like to send out some special thanks to Jay Allen, the tournament director, and Todd R. Towery, the course superintendent, who's done a great job this week. We've had a lot of rain in this area earlier in the week, but the course is in magnificent shape considering. Now Angela Stanford.
Big tee ball here for Angela. Has got to keep that down the right-hand side to give herself a shot at this whole location.
She can't afford to make this a 3-shot hole. She needs to make eagle.
She took that on a very aggressive line and looks like it's going to pay off.
Unless it rolls into the rough, but it
stayed in the first cut, should be okay.
That's what she'll have left. Jie Shin getting ready just in case. Will there be a playoff? Stick around, we'll soon find out. Back at the 18th. Sun Young Yu for eagle and the lead.
This severely uphill. Oh, look at this. It's going to turn off on her, but great speed. Leaves herself a tap in for the birdie.
And that'll get her to 9 under par. That will draw even with Jie Shin. GA will now intensify her warm-up on the practice tee, because Sun Young Yu has joined her. There's a look at GA Shin.
So what's that? No, yeah,
I wonder if she's aware of what just happened.
Because Andrew's and what about
Just going through her entire practice routine here.
yeah, up on the phone.
Is it a disadvantage having
too embarrassing.
been done for so long and having to go through the whole warm-up routine again?
It can be. It depends upon, you know, how seriously she takes it. But, you know, she started out with the wedges and just went through her whole practice routine. So for her, it'll be like starting a new round. And then, you know, she also has that confidence that she brings from how well she played today.
Go back to the 18th. It's been a disappointing day for Yanni Singh. This for eagle, though, and not a way to finish.
It's a great way to finish. That'll bring a smile to her face.
74 today. Never was in this one on Sunday. Song Hee Kim appears to have found the deep rough, Val.
Brian, she has drawn a really horrible lie, and plus was blocked out by the trees, and there is a lake in trouble in the left. Just got to bunt it out here and get it down there and give herself a chance with a wedge.
All right, so there's the layup. So if she's going to make birdie, she's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Na-Yoon Choi will be next. Sun Young Yu going to put the finishing touches on her round and get ready for a playoff. And Choi's bogey at 17 cost her a chance to get into that playoff. Just trying to move up the leaderboard.
Severely downhill lie here, trying to hit uphill to this green. Looks like she may have pulled that off the lie. Oh, how about that? There's a false front there, though. That should run back down off the green. It's just a matter of how far it will go down the fairway. Very severe slope. That's going to run quite a ways down.
Several balls down there. You can see the divots.
Yep.
Well, big shot upcoming now for Angela Stanford. She has to make eagle to get into the playoff. So this needs to be a good one.
This is a 7 medal from 210.
Looks like a pretty good line.
Oh, she's going to have a chance. Angela Stanford not out of it yet. If she can roll that in, she'll get to 9 under par and join GA Shin and Sun Young Yu. The Golf Channel's presentation of the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship brought to you by P&G Beauty, proud sponsor of the LPGA, touching lives, improving life. And by the Callaway FT IQ, our longest, straightest driver ever. Well, GA Shin, Sun Young Yu are tied at 9 under. Will they be joined by even more for the playoff? The 18th, Song Hee Kim with her 3rd.
See there, 115 yards, place uphill. Oh, nice shot, but she will have a difficult downhill putt to try and tie for the lead.
Jie Shin has moved from the practice tee to the putting green as she continues her preparation for the playoff.
Yeah, and she continues to just go through her normal routine, and just like she's going to be teeing off for another round of golf.
Would you spend as much time on the practice tee as you would before a round?
Probably not, because you're already warm, but you know, it's an opportunity to work on the things that maybe weren't as good for that day.
There are a lot of good things in her round today. That's 64. Not sure she had a lot to work on.
You know, she finished up Sunday in Canada with a 63 and then shoots 64 this Sunday.
Well, Angela Stanford, it's this simple. This has to go for eagle to get into the playoff. She'll give this one a real good look.
Wow, and she hit a really good putt on 17. That long putt there just didn't quite have enough speed on it. Try to get your spot.
Yep, that's what I'm reading.
This putt extremely makeable. Putting back up the hill, should move just slightly from right to left. As Angela says, this is the situation that she wants to be in. She works hard to get in these situations, so here she is, an opportunity to tie.
Oh, she did it!
How about that? How good is that?
Having to make eagle at the last to get into the playoff, and she does. Another look. Look at the reaction. Hey, that's a Solheim Cup celebration right there.
That is. Tell you what, that's like a Solheim Cup putt. That's fun. That was big time right there. You know you have to do it.
Sun Young Yu showed up at the putting green to hit a few before the playoff. And they'll have a third joining them, and maybe a fourth. Song Hee Kim, if she can roll this in, we'll have a four-way playoff.
Well, the #1 putter on the tour right now in putts per green in regulation. Song Hee's going to need that. Ryan Choi, downhiller. That is such a quick putt. Every player has underestimated how fast that is.
So it'll be a threesome in the playoff for the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship.
You'll see after Song Hee watched that putt, and she needs to make this, so hopefully that didn't scare her too much on how much downhill that is. She needs to give it a run.
Song Hee Kim. for birdie.
This to get her into the playoff at 9 under par. Should have gotten a pretty good read. Off of Nari's putt. Playing about right edge. Pulled it. Pulled it out of the hole.
So there won't be a foursome.
Oh, and they both have a little work to do. And disappointing for Song Hee Kim.
He began the day with a 2-shot lead.
And shot over par today.
Oh, Angela Stanford really treading water through 17 holes, even par on the day. Needed some last hole heroics. The other two players in the playoff on the putting green, Sun Young Yu, Jie Shin. Ian Choi to finish up, this for par.
Nicely done.
Ian Choi will tie for 7th. Round of 71 today. Now Song Hee Kim. Put the finishing touches on her round.
Well, and a big letdown after you have an opportunity to get in a playoff, and then now she has this work left for her par to finish off the tournament.
Probably feeling a little better about her game though, Beth. Tied for 10th last week in Canada, comes here, has an opportunity to win. Going to pick up a top 5 finish, so
yeah,
trending in the right direction.
Definitely trending in the right direction, but has to be really disappointed to take a 2-shot lead into today and not win.
One over par 72 today for Song Hee Kim. She'll finish 1 shot out of the playoff. So when we come back, we'll head back to the 18th tee. Angela Stanford, Jie Shin, Sun Young Yu, they still have some work to do. We're going to assign it to champion at the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship in overtime. Stay with us. I wonder if Angela's pulse has settled down any after rolling in that dramatic eagle putt on the 54th hole to get into the playoff.
Well, she needs to just take a little time, make sure her scorecard is correct, and she will not have any time to go hit any putts or anything like that. Just she'll go down to the 18th tee.
Would you rather do that? Just go right from the scorer's tent down to the 18th tee and
if
right
I were in her situation, right off the golf course, yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. I think, you know, Jie Shin's been sitting around. She's been watching golf. You know, had to go back out, warm up again. Even though she had the best round of the day of any of the players, she probably is at a slight disadvantage because she's been sitting around for so long. You just mentally, you're not as into it as if you just get right off the golf course.
And we told you off the top of the show that it's a big day for Angela Stanford. Her mother, who's battling breast cancer, is here to watch. She's never before won in front of her parents. Let's take a look at some of the highlights that we've seen from Angela today. Of course, the biggest highlight, well, now it's the second biggest highlight. Coming on the second hole, par 5. This is coming after a bogey at the first, but this is a good way to bounce back. Her third shot.
Yeah, and this hole location on the left side today, and just drains it.
That for eagle. That got her to 8 under par. And her third at 14, the par 5.
Hit it through the green, very severely downhill, just beautiful touch. Chipped it off a downhill lie to there.
That got her to 8 under. She would bogey 15, and then needing eagle at the 18th to get into the playoff, she did this. Couldn't ask for more drama than that. And they'll go back to the 18th tee and do it all over again. That'll be the first playoff hole. The order will go 18, and then if we need more holes, they'll go to the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th again. While we have a moment, let's run down the scores, pick out your favorite players, see how they fared today. Taylor Leon, good week for Taylor Leon. We talked about that earlier.
Very good week for her. Needing to make some cash to try and get higher on the priority list for next year. Aimee Azato continuing her good play, finishing tied for 10th.
First round leader Sandra Gao ends up in a tie for 14th, 3 under par, along with Natalie Gulbis, Paula Creamer. There's Stacy Lewis. Nice rally yesterday to make the cut. Shoots even today in front of her hometown fans. Tough day for Jane Park, who was in contention when the day began.
Pat Hurst with that up and down round ends up shooting +4 today. Shell Wee +2.
Kelly Sheen, a junior at the University of Arkansas, 2 under today. Finishes in red numbers at 1 under par. Good week for her.
Yeah, great learning experience for her too.
Morgan Pressel finishes at even. Julieta Granada spending a lot of time on the European Tour this year, playing here this week.
Yep, she went and got her card on the LET and has been playing over there, but has played a fair amount of tournaments in the United States as well.
Whitney Lang was in contention earlier in the week, but has a difficult Sunday.
Vicky Hurst there. A disappointing day today, but talented young player. We'll hear a lot from her in the future.
Struggles for Christina Kim this week.
Mika Miyazato down there, another one in this talented rookie class.
Michelle Redmond played very well a few weeks ago. Almost picked up a win.
Lost in a playoff there to MJ Herr in Portland.
You can see the carts. They're on their way back to the 18th tee to begin the playoff. This will be the largest playoff we've had this year on the LPGA Tour. 3 players. And for Jie Shin and Sun Young Yu, this will be their first playoff experience. Angela Stanford, you might remember, played in the 18-hole playoff back in 2003 at the U.S. Women's Open. Back in Rogers, Arkansas, Angela Stanford making her way back to the 18th tee to get the playoff underway. Jie Shin, Sun Young Yu will join her. And we'll do it all over again. It's been a while for GA. You can see her stretching, trying to get loose. She posted early today, that 64. Sun Young Yu. Both Jie Shin and Angela Stanford have 4 career wins.
We need to keep going. We're going to go 16, 17, and then we come back here. So, play round of the day, draw first.
That's Allison Aiken, our LPGA rules official, who was the advance official for this event, and they're taking numbers out of the hat.
All right, ladies, good luck. I'll be around if you need me.
Comparing golf balls so that everyone knows what the markings are and no confusion there.
Play one ready? On the last. Cool. Play one ready? All right.
So here we go.
Sun Young drew the number 1, so she will tee off.
And Beth, I think this is such an important tee shot for all these players to be able to go for this green in 2. If you hit it in the rough or any of these bunkers to the right side of the fairway, it is a definite 3-shot hole. And that ball's got a lot of release all the way down the fairway. Beautiful tee shot.
Yep, she caught the downhill slope, and she will definitely have action at going for it.
Now Jie Shin birdied this hole earlier today to shoot that 64.
And she's good at that. Again, as Donna said, just wants to hold this right-hand side.
Oh,
she's going to catch that thick rough on the left. Could have tree trouble.
Yeah,
that might make that a 3-shot hole for Jie Shin.
Yep, she just pulled it just enough.
Now Angela wants to just hit the same shot that she hit earlier on this hole, just a little more to the right. Hits a natural draw, so it's a perfect shape for her, the way this hole sets up. She's lost it right.
See if she can get a ground hook.
Yep, she's getting it. She is getting it.
She's going to get away with it.
All right. So Angela accomplishes goal 1. There's her mother there in the center of the screen.
Krista McPherson right there with her, one of Angela's good friends, and talking to her mom, Nan.
I can't see. The fairway? I don't know. I don't have a TV monitor.
Well, Christy will give them a running commentary, that's for sure.
Isn't that the truth? We learned that firsthand at the Solheim Cup. They're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Oh, look, she saw that she's in the fairway.
Yeah, they did see that she hit the ball in the fairway. They're giving it the fist pump, and quite a few players back there watching the playoff.
Well, Beth, I just ran down there from my position and spoke to her mum, Nan. I said, "What were you doing when the putt went in?" She said, I screamed, and she was sitting watching in the clubhouse, but she's now walked down from the clubhouse to just behind that 18th green, as you can see, and a very tense moment for her.
Well, here's a look at where everybody stands on the money list. Jie Shin, 4th. She could move up nicely if she comes away with the win. Angela Stanford is 10th. Sun Young Yu is certainly going to pad her spot inside the top 40, which gets you a 2-year exemption. Let's take a look at Jie Shin's highlights from earlier today en route to that 64. This was her 3rd to the 14th, par 5.
So out of that front fairway bunker, she had a beautiful shot.
That got her to 4 under on the day, 7 under for the tournament. This for a rare birdie at 16.
Yeah, very rare birdie at 16. In the rain, drops it right in the right side.
And that got her to 8 under par. And then her 3rd to the 18th.
Yeah, she was forced to lay up earlier and hit a beautiful 3rd shot in. And made that little left to righter.
And that was her 64. And then all she did was wait and wait and wait. And now she has more golf to play. She missed the fairway with her drive here, the 18th. So This may end up being a 3-shot hole for GA.
Well, and it was in regulation, and she made her birdie, but definitely the other two players have an advantage because they will be able to go at it in 2.
Angela will be first to play.
She's looking at 220 as a total number. 200 will cover the front portion of the green. Very similar to what she had earlier, but she was on the other side of the fairway. And it was a 7 medal then, and very possibly will be again.
Is this a better angle?
I think it is, but you know, honestly, with the way the front bunker is there, you've got to negotiate it either way, but she does have a little more room right of it to get it back to that whole location from where she is.
Well, and Val, that 7-wood is a great club for this hole because she has a downhill lie there trying to hit uphill to this green, and that little bit extra loft really helps her get the ball up in the air.
Well, that, and also she's got some wind helping her, which she needs it because she can't hit her 7-wood typically that far. Looks like Shin's going to go, though, as they both have similar numbers. She's just 1 yard inside of her. But apparently thinks she's away. And, by the way, guys, she does have an open shot and just eked out being right of those trees.
Yeah, and she looks like she's going for it with the hybrid.
219.
Forget what I said about this being a 3-shot hole. Well,
that was
comes up just a bit short. Is it going to stay there?
Yeah, that's the question, because those have been rolling all the way back down the fairway. There it goes. Yeah, she tried to chase it up there with that hybrid out of the rough and just didn't quite hit it far enough.
Now, in hindsight, would she have been better laying up than facing this shot for her 3rd?
Oh, not necessarily, because she has plenty of green to work with, and I think, you know, sometimes the closer you get, the ball rolls back down into the flat. It shouldn't be that difficult of a pitch shot.
Now Angela's second.
Drilled it, but it's coming in low.
Trying to hook it, Val, but didn't do it. That will stay up top because that will be in the first cut or in the rough.
On the level.
Looked a little surprised by that one.
Now, you next to play has the exact yardage that she had in her final hole. 217, 197 to cover the front. Although she absolutely has to keep it in the air. 204 hybrid.
That looks like a good line, Donna.
It is. Oh, beautiful shot.
It's a little hot, though. Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Just took a hard bounce off the front.
So none of the 3 players are on the green in 2. We'll come back in a moment. Back at the 18th, GA Shin now with her 3rd.
The biggest disadvantage here is that she's a little blind here. She can see the top of the flag, but not the green itself, not the surface of the green.
Caught it cleanly.
Oh, how about that? Back for birdie.
What a great shot. That was really a nice shot. She caught that really crisply, took that one hop and checked.
Angela Stanford looking over what she faces for her 3rd.
Well, and she really, Brian, has a pretty clean lie. It's not great, but it's good enough given that she has a lot of green to work with here. Angela's a very good chipper and pitcher of the ball, works hard on it.
one on line and the one on the right of that. Here, like outside that a cup. Would be the cup and a half.
And she was on this line earlier, Brian, from below the hole there, so she's pretty familiar with how this ball's going to break around the hole.
Pressure on now with Jie Shin in close.
Look at this. Wow. Little chipping exhibition here.
Brittany Lincecum has joined the group looking on, along with her mother Nan.
It's much harder to watch than to play.
Look at her mom.
You know, her mom can hardly see because Krista McPherson's jumping up and down so much.
She wasn't joking about screaming in the clubhouse earlier.
And you, as you guys talked about in that back bunker, is ranked 99th in sand saves. And this is a very difficult shot.
She might have just moved up in the rankings right there, though, Donna.
Yes, sirree.
Just slid that club right under it, flipped it on the green, and let the slope of the green do the rest. Beautiful shot.
3 terrific shots from these players. Now it's a putting contest from in close.
Yep, Jie Shin will be the first one to putt.
Probably, well, she might be. It looks like she's going to stand on Angela's mark.
Yeah, she's asking her, isn't she?
It's kind of an advantage if she allows Angela to go first and Angela gets it in the hole.
Well, it is, but Val, out of courtesy,
absolutely,
she definitely does not want to stand in Angela's line.
Yeah, she should let her go, but it is kind of a nice break for Angela there to get to cap it in if she can.
Because basically right now we are playing match play. First ball in the hole usually has an advantage. Just putting from above the hole, just have to be, well, we've seen these putts earlier in the day, how speedy they are, but you have to hit it hard enough to have it hold its line.
She's in with birdie. Sigh of relief. It would be so special for Angela to be able to win for her mother.
It'll be the first time she's won with her mom and dad present. Now, GA, a little longer putt than what Angela had.
It hasn't been raining the last couple days. Shut up, you blocksucker.
Oh, well done. You see, if you don't keep the speed, that just will fall off to the right, just enough.
2 in with birdie. And now for the hat trick. There you go. All 3 players birdie the 18th. They'll head to the par 3 15th for the second playoff hole. We'll take a break. Don't go anywhere. Second hole of the playoff at the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship when we come back. Mrs. Stanford has a ride, although kind of a dangerous ride with Morgan Pressel behind the wheel.
Is she old enough to drive yet?
Getting a good vantage point here at the 15th. Players have arrived at the tee. This is a signature hole here at Pinnacle Country Club. All three players birdied the first playoff hole.
Well, in the 15th hole, Jie Shin has played in 1 over for the tournament. Angela Stanford has played in 1 over for the tournament. And Sun Young Yu has played even par.
And as you guys talked about, 142 is the actual yardage into the wind, probably playing 150. 7-iron. She hit a 7-iron the first time around.
Yep, we're good to go.
Well, remember, Donna, she hung it out to the right.
Yes. And
made that good up and down.
Yes, it was a very good chip. A chip that I thought she might be able to chip in. And again, the same situation. The green is way below the tee. Wind is a little bit stronger than it was when she came through here first time.
Advantage to not go first here?
Oh, I think it's always an advantage to go first.
Yeah, I always like to go first. Ooh, get up.
Oh, that was a little dangerous, but safe.
That's why I said there's a little more wind right now than there was when she came through.
Well, and that was a lot more dangerous than it turned out. I mean, that's quite a slope there, and the ball hung up.
Could have easily hit that slope right in front and kicked right back into that water.
Mm-hmm.
There's Jie Shin.
Well, and she has to figure that downhill is sort of an equalizer with the wind. So the 142 number's not too bad. Maybe just tack a couple on. Has a 7-iron. This is a player that knows how to take dead aim. Does not get flustered very often.
Good shot there.
Nice shot. Looked like she tried to flake that down a little bit to help her with the wind in her face.
Well, now Angela. I wonder if her mom's trying to stay out of her view.
Her mom is being chauffeured by Morgan Pressel.
Yeah, we've seen that.
And there she is. Angela hit 8-iron here earlier. And our caddy mentioned that he thought Paul was playing the same, so that would be what she's got in her hand.
It's holding her attention. Well,
just came up a little short into that wind.
She's going to give Jie Shin a good lesson. Second playoff hole at the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship. We'll come back for more in a moment. Back at the 15th, second playoff hole. Sun Young Yu preparing to play her second.
Came up a little short with that 7-iron. Ballooned it up just a little bit. Just electing to chip this. But she has a number of options. She could putt it.
But I guess, Donna, if you really want to make it, you try to chip it.
Yes, ma'am. Right on line again.
Should be an easy par, but is par going to be good enough on this hole? Angela Stanford will be next for birdie. And she's going to give Jie Shin a real good teacher, isn't she?
She is going to give her a little bit of a line.
She's actually going to roll it right over her pitch mark.
Is she really bad?
Yeah, Jie marked off to the side. Her ball was actually embedded in its own pitch mark. So Angela has to contend with that, and also has to know, given where GA is, that she has to be thinking she has to make this. So I would expect to see a pretty aggressive putt.
Well, we're talking about how this becomes match play, and in match play you always assume that your opponent is going to make the next shot, so you have to play accordingly. So she really needs to be aggressive. Oh, wow.
Well, there was that aggressive putt.
But for a while, that looked pretty good. Turned right before the hole.
Well, and GA, watch closely. It's inside the hole. If anything, I think it just breaks ever so slightly to the right there, Beth, as it falls away.
Yeah, and that's what Angela's did. Even as firmly as she hit it, it still took that right-hand break. So GA should have gotten a pretty good feel for it from Angela's putt. GA currently ranks 6th in putting on tour, so a very good putter. Just a really solid player. I don't think there's a weakness to her game. Her course management is good for being a young player. And she's one of these players that just kind of, we say she gets it. You know, she knows what she needs to do to shoot low numbers.
As you mentioned earlier, you feel that she's right now, this day, the best player in the world.
I do. If you look at just this year and the way she's played, I really do feel that way.
Well, this for her 3rd win of 2009. She got it.
How about that?
GA Shin shoots 64 to get into the playoff and then wins the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship on the 2nd playoff hole. Down to Val.
Oh, GA, what a day for you today. 64 on Sunday afternoon. How good does it feel?
Well, still I can't believe. I'm really surprised because today my goal is just in top 10, but oh my God, I made it.
Well, you had a really good showing there in the playoff birdies at 18 and the 15th hole here, the 2nd playoff hole. Now, this probably clinches some Rookie of the Year points for you, and you're in there for Player of the Year. What would that mean to you?
Well, no. Today my shot was really good, and then my putting was good, and then I saw the endless. Oh.
That's the end of the interview, isn't it?
That's good sportsmanship. The American Solheim Cup players come over to congratulate GA Shin.
Well, I guess are we back here with GA? One more question. Just to finish up on, you smell a little bit like champagne. Just to finish up, what would it mean to you to clinch your Rookie of the Year title as well as Player of the Year?
Actually, last couple of years, my play is a little bit up and down, so I worry about my on LPGA Tour, a little bit worried, but last week at the Canada final round, I hit the 63, and then confidence is back, and then I have really good feeling on Arkansas, and then I made it. I can believe it now.
Well, we know you're a closer. Congratulations. Thank you, Brian. Beth, back to you.
Well, she now definitely has firm control in the race for Rookie of the Year, and with her 3rd win of the year unofficially, she now takes the top spot In the Player of the Year standings, trying to become the first player to win both since Nancy Lopez back in 1978, G.A. Shin, a 3-time winner in 2009. More wins than anybody else on tour this year. Lorena Ochoa, the only other multiple winner on the LPGA Tour this year. Well, they put on quite a show here the final day of the P&G Beauty Northwest Arkansas Championship. Rain was in the forecast all week, but we dodged the bullets and we got it in. Don't forget, next week the Samsung World Championship comes your way here on the Golf Channel. Our coverage begins Thursday, 8:30 Eastern Time. What a week it was. Had some high drama, late eagles to get into a playoff, and then G.A. Shin wins for the 3rd time this year. Today's telecast produced by Beth Hutter, directed by Emmett Lochran. For Beth Daniel, Charlie Reimer, Tom Abbott, Val Skinner, and Donna Capone Burns, I'm Brian Hammonds. Good afternoon from Rogers, Arkansas.